Welcome to the Stanford Lee Show. This week, Nashville never called. Okay, I got my guitar. I'm ready to do this song. So, wow, I really need some drums though. Who am I gonna call? All right, ready to record. It really would help if I had some bass though, so who am I gonna call to play bass? All right, we got some bass going on. But I really need some steel, man. I really need some steel, so who am I gonna call to play steel? Well, we got steel and everything else, but man, we really need them fiddles. So I guess let me call my fiddle guy. Ain't much of a fiddle guy. I don't know who I'm gonna call to play fiddle. But we're gonna get this track done one way or another, I promise you. So you're probably wondering, what it's like being a musician, and I guess country music songwriters are all alike in the sense that they're trying to find a good story, write a song, and get their stuff out there in the world, get it heard somehow or another. And I think that for a lot of people, that starts with, getting an instrument, learning guitar, starting to write, and things take it from there. Yeah, that's kind of what happened with me. I liked the classic country. I really got inspired by the classic, old stuff, and continued to have a passion for the instruments, like just love the sound of a steel guitar or a fiddle, that sort of thing. I found that as I went on, it was like, I would do one thing right, and then I'd fail at a few other things. Then I'd do maybe a couple things right, and then fail at some more things, and kind of go on and on with this process. And it's, it's pretty common. I mean, it's just like, and I know some producers and kind of work with them. It's like you got a great track, and then boom, they shoot you down, because, you forgot to put some compression on the snare drum, or didn't put enough time into this thing or that thing or the other. And it's kind of like that. So you can find yourself like, maybe 2 or 3 years later, like, wow, where did the time go? It's like I'm creating stuff and, nobody really cares about it. But, it's a lot of fun, but I just wanted to kind of, in this episode, kind of turn things upside down and look at what's really frustrating. It's like, try to answer the question like, why wouldn't Nashville call? And I think there's a couple reasons. So I just explained the first. It's, we're kind of left with a DIY culture, where we have to do things ourselves, especially in these times where, people are more to themselves, maybe isolated, and, you have a particular skill set. You're not always going to find people in your area that are necessarily interested in doing the kind of music you want to do when you want to do it. I think that a lot of people have taken up the challenge of learning new instruments and taking the time to build that foundation where if they have an idea in their head, they're able to go to the studio with it and, and then do something, within a reasonable means. I mean, it's like, maybe we're not going to be, big producers like Chris Lord Alge or something, but you know what I'm saying, just to get your stuff to a level where, it doesn't, repulse people or piss people off or something, I guess, just, like there's kind of a bar to hit, I guess. So the first reason is, the DIY thing. You got to learn how to do things yourself. It's your responsibility. And the second thing is the vertical market. That sounds kind of like fancy talk in business, but it just means that the market is very vertical. It's like, the top thrive, and everybody down below tries to survive. It's, you know, just the way it is. And it's more extreme as, you know, those differences between, you know, like those early opportunities where you have clubs and people going to clubs and, you know, places to learn and share, and then all the other people up there that have already made it. You know, it's kind of like, it's a long ways to the top, as they say, or it's, you know, kind of, you know, everybody's down at the bottom not knowing what to do. And that's probably a good thing for the people way up there, and probably a bad thing for everybody else, you know, on the bottom. But that's kind of the way it is, and it's not anybody's fault in Nashville necessarily. I'm not, you know, going that way with it or trying to blame anybody. Yeah, so let me put it in some terms. I mean, like kind of a 90s perspective. So look at artists like the Melvins. It's like, you know, who in the heck's ever heard of that band, right? And you've heard of Nirvana, you've heard of 9 Inch Nails, and this is probably like one of the most important bands out of the late 80s and 90s that influenced all that stuff. They would actually get crap thrown at them on stage because people didn't know who they were, or just, you know, weren't, you know, vibing on it or something. It's really unfair, you know, and you have people like Nirvana, 9 Inch Nails went on with their careers, or we never heard of all those punk bands unless we're into the scene, but who hasn't heard of Green Day? But really, there's some things that you can do in this time, you know, to collaborate. It's like I jumped on the opportunity to, you know, try to pick up some new technology, started to work in Band Lab, and had some really good results collaborating with people. At least I think so. It turned out great. I mean, it's kind of hard to, you know, get the last guy that touches something, you know, to remember to do everything. But you know what I'm saying? It's like we have tools where we can reach across the world now and interact with people and build relationships. So I think that's awesome. And you know what? Maybe Nashville didn't call, but it's not getting me down because, you know, I'm really, you know, working on some exciting stuff and continue to improve on my own terms. It kind of, you know, it kind of gives me an attitude, you know, like, wow, you know, things are going great, and I just want to, you know, keep doing awesome things. I'm not, you know, waiting on anybody. And I think that's the way a lot of musicians feel. They're not waiting on anybody. They're not waiting on a big phone call. They just want, you know, the tools to do what they want to do and explore their creativity, and, you know, maybe more of an audience out there, you know, and probably that just comes with time and maybe some new innovations. You know, kind of the nightcap of our show is to play it out with a song, and I'd like to do a song for you, play the instrumental of this Honky Tonk Fool, and I hope you enjoy. Like, subscribe, and hit all that stuff down there. You're really going to have a great time. And I will see you next time on the Stanford Lee Show.